Hey guys, it's Cho, and I'm finally back with another video. In today's video, as you can see, I'm interviewing a very special guest. Her name is April, and I'm so happy and honored to have her here. I have been following her for quite some time. In fact, I kind of broke a story about The Ordinary and how they had some lawsuit that was pending, that was a class action lawsuit. And that was actually my first introduction to April. And ever since then, I've been in love with her content. So give a warm welcome to April. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you. I know you're super
Thank you for
busy.
having me.
So it means a lot that you took out some time to talk to little old me.
Thank you for having me.
So to start off, can you just give us an introduction about who you are, where are you from, and what do you do on social media in general?
My name is April, and I have a beauty brand called HeyApril.com. Hey April is a content creator, and I focus mainly on skincare. I have been around since 2007.
Wow.
I started on MakeupTalk.com as a forum moderator, and since then started a blog. Had a blog called glitterglossgarbage.com,
Mhm.
rebranded it in 2014 to Hey April, and that's where I've been ever since.
Wow.
I make skincare and beauty content.
Yeah, it's great. I love it. What got you into influencing to begin with? Like, why did it seem like something that um you would endeavor to do?
It was an accident.
Mm,
Influencing started off as brands scraping around in forums, trying to give who they thought were the most popular people samples in exchange for reviews
right.
to influence the people in the forums. And over time, here we are,
Yeah, I imagine it's changed so much. He said 2017. Did I hear that
seven,
right?
2007.
Oh, excuse me, 2007. I mean, like, talk about OG, like the original gangsters right here, y'all. um,
Yeah,
I feel like it's
old.
probably changed a lot since 2007. What are some of those
Yeah,
changes that you can kind of see, if any?
money.
Mm-hmm.
In 2007, there was no money.
Right.
We didn't start seeing money till about 2010.
Mm-hmm.
The way influencer marketing looks, it has a form now. We didn't have a
Mm-hmm.
form back then.
Right.
Uh, your social media requirement was to have 100 friends on Google Friend Connect.
Wow.
That
Not the
was
Google
brands
Friend Connect,
requirement.
honey. Not the Google Friend
Google
Connect.
Friend Connect. If you had 100 followers on Google Friend Connect, you
Uh-huh.
could get free samples from brands.
Wow.
So a lot has changed because now the standard is what, like 10,000 or more on any given social media
Right.
channel.
That's true. That's true. Um, I will say though, I'm glad you mentioned that because I have seen that whole 10,000 limit, especially on Instagram. I think it's 10,000 before they
Mm-hmm.
even give you the swipe up feature, which
Mm-hmm.
makes you official, like an official influencer. But I have
Mm-hmm.
seen that some brands are now tapping into nano and micro influencers a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they can sometimes have less than 10,000 followers, but
Mm-hmm.
you're totally right. I feel like a lot of the standards, the bar is kind of set at that 10,000, which is so,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. To me, it looks to be like a hard thing to achieve, you know?
10,000 followers is very hard to achieve
Mm-hmm.
because you you have a lot of competition. You
Right.
you already have people that are authorities in the niche,
Mm-hmm.
and you're coming in brand spanking new,
Right.
and they have to make a decision of whether or not you are speaking about anything that's even relevant to them. But I'll say the more authentic you are,
Mm-hmm.
the better you can get your community in. And if content creators thought about it more from a community, if
Mm-hmm.
you, I still believe if you have 100 solid people that are following you and consuming your content, that's enough. I do believe 100 is enough.
Yeah. That's awesome. So I'm glad that you're giving us a little bit of advice. I kind of want to get your opinion on that. Like being someone that's been in the game for so long now, what is
Mhm.
some general advice you would have for influencers that are trying to get into the scene, especially with all this competition right now?
Create that community first
Mm-hmm.
and understand that unfortunately you're going to do content and you're going to have to do content for free because you have to be able to show brands what
Mm-hmm.
you can give them in order for them to decide that they want to pay you in one way or another. All of the brands pay. It's the way, in my opinion, that influencers are going about creating relationships with brands.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just send them an email and ask for money, and they've never seen anything that you've done. And they
Right.
don't know your tone, and they don't know who you are, and they can't really capture your personality in a pitch.
Mm-hmm.
You have to get your personality captured in your content. So the
Right.
better your content is, and the more organic and natural it is, the more attractive it will be to brands.
Mm-hmm.
And I have always been a small influencer. So in one given platform or another, I've never been over 20,000 minus Facebook that I didn't really
Mm-hmm.
count that Facebook page as some significant, place where my followers were.
Right.
So, over the course of, 10 plus years, I have made a significant amount of money in influencing, and I never had a large name and I
Mm-hmm.
never had a large following. It's
Right.
all about the content.
Yeah, that's a good point. And you know what? I'm gonna say this. That's a hot take. What you just said. That's a hot take. The whole working for free and kind of proving yourself. I've been on Twitter, and I've seen the girls talk about how demand your worth and take no less and never work for free. But you're kind of saying that like, listen, you've got to actually prove to a brand that you're worth investing in you know
Yeah.
um what do you guys think at home watching? Let me know in the comment section. How do we feel about April's advice? I think I like that advice. And I say that only because of experience. I'm a very very small content creator, like nobody knows who I am, but I have been promoting brands organically that I truly love for a long time. And
Hmm.
there's some things in the works right now behind the scenes with collaborating with brands that reached out to me and they said, listen, we've been looking at your work and your content and we love it and we want to work with you. Um, and it's actually made the negotiation process seamless.
Easy.
It's easy.
Because they already know you like their brand. They
Right.
already know what kind of content you're going to put forth. You're
Hmm.
going to get more money that way.
Right.
You're going to
Right.
have a long-term relationship with them that way.
That's key. Yeah. I think that's what because you've mentioned this before on Twitter. We've kind of had this conversation a little bit. I'm always watching your Twitter, by the way, because you drop some gems all the time. And you've mentioned this conversation before. And the value that I took from it was what you
Mm,
just said, having a long-term relationship. If you approach every brand as like a transaction, then that's
mhm.
all you're gonna have in life are these transactional relationships. Um,
Yes.
and I don't want that. Just personally, as a content creator, I don't want that. And I'm assuming, I don't have the experience that you do or the
Mm,
background that you do, but I'm assuming that you want a long-term relationship because that's long-term
mm.
income.
Yes. My longest term thus far is PCA Skin.
Okay.
PCA Skin sent me skincare samples in 2017,
Mm-hmm.
and I did an organic review. Hydrolux, as a matter of fact, is the moisturizer I did a review on my blog.
Okay.
And they sent a few more samples, and we did a few more things, and I did a
Mm-hmm.
couple of giveaways. And the next thing you know, I have an invitation to go to Scottsdale, Arizona.
Wow.
And they put me on a plane to Scottsdale, and I went to the PCA Skin headquarters. I met
Wow.
everybody there, and they gave us, it was myself and like 8 other influencers at that
Mm-hmm.
time,
Yeah.
and they broke us up into one-on-one sessions, and they asked me, what do you want? And I
Mm-hmm.
was honest. I want exclusivity.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what products come out before everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I
I know
want
that's right.
replenishment. I cannot promote your products if I do not have a constant supply and I'm
Mm.
not using it in my routine. You have to make sure I have that. And finally, I want money. I have to be
Listen,
paid. And I
listen.
looked everybody in the face and said, I want money. I
Mm-hmm.
have to be paid. And so they
Right.
said, we're going to think about how we can accommodate you and we'll come back to you. And I
Gotcha.
got off the plane in January. And in May, they came to me and said, we have an idea.
Great. Wow.
What's the biggest thing that your audience struggles with? And it was hyperpigmentation.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you go to our site and you pick 5 products that you think will help with hyperpigmentation. And we'll put it in a kit and we'll give you 25% commission. And I've
Wow.
been making 5 figures a quarter ever since 2018
Wow.
off of reviewing a press sample
Wow.
and not telling them, no, I don't want to review this. No, I don't care about this.
Right.
You're gonna have to pay me. Where's the money? Here's
Mm-hmm.
my rate sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Don't contact me until you can come to me with a deal. Mm-mm.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the sample. I appreciate it. If I
Right.
find a fit for this, I'll let you know.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go and you play with it. You decide, do you want to cover it? Do you like it? Is it something
Right.
that your audience wants to know about?
Mm-hmm.
Yay, nay. If it's yay, you post it and you treat it as if it's a sponsored post.
Right.
You
Right.
you should have metrics. You should have trackable links. You should
Mm-hmm.
have everything that paid content has so that you could come to them after a month and say, hey, look, this post got 1,000 views last month. I think that's excellent. Want to do a
Mm-hmm.
giveaway?
That's yeah. You're touching. Oh my God. This is why, guys, you guys don't know how like enamored I am with April. This is why I follow her because she is really dropping the tea right now. Okay. So a couple of things she mentioned that I kind of want to extrapolate on is like the tone shift between that whole being demanding up front and then kind of like dropping back and saying like, playing it by ear.
Mhm.
If brands look at you as an obstacle, that's the way they're going to treat you as an obstacle. You want a brand to look at you as someone that you have a potential to work with, not something that they have to defeat or battle with, which I think sometimes negotiations can feel like. And I think that's what the popular narrative is right now in the social media space is it's a battle. Like it's you got to go in, demand your worth, have your rate sheet, don't talk to me if you're not talking about my rates. And that's not the way April has found success,
I'm
you
gonna give
know.
y'all another. I'm gonna give you another gem. Let me find. All I got at my desk right now is hand sanitizer. So let's
Hmm.
Dove. The girl that does PR for Dove that you were rude with stays in PR 10 plus years.
Hmm.
Do you really think she's gonna be at Dove for the next 10 years?
Hmm.
She may move to Care.
Right.
She remembers you.
Hmm.
And the moment that you pitch, whatever. So no,
Right.
she might go to Minute Maid. She goes to Minute Maid. Guess what? You're not gonna get money while she's at Minute Maid.
Right.
PR agents move around, guys.
Okay.
I want you to know that you're getting an exclusive.
Right
Listen to
here.
me and listen to me good.
Right.
They move around.
Okay.
They move from state to state. They move from city to city. They're in groups that you can't
Hmm.
get in,
Right.
and they talk about you.
Right. And that
And
shouldn't
they
be too hard to believe because that's any industry. But
right, but
that's any industry.
you would think the way that they carry themselves
Hmm.
that, and when I say themselves, I mean the ones who are so rude and so
Hmm.
tactless. They come in and they make such a strong presence. It's easy for their name to just get spread around.
Hmm.
And it should be a given, but I don't know why nobody ever thought it through that, hey, if
Right.
I'm talking to this person this way, they will definitely go tell other people.
Right.
And then you are being prejudged by people that don't even know you because of this rude interaction with them when you could have just not even answered the email at all.
Right. That's true. That's true. Sometimes no answer is the best answer.
Sometimes it is.
So, okay, that's cool. I'm so happy that we're having this discussion. I think it's so valuable. And if you guys are watching this so far and you've gotten any value from this video, this interview, give us a like, give us a comment, show some love in the algorithm. I'd appreciate that. You worked with PCA for quite a long time and you've got a lot of success from them.
Mhm.
In general, how has it been your experience working with brands?
Brands, working with brands in general is highs and lows.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um, sometimes it's a great day, sometimes it's not.
right.
Sometimes you're signing contract after contract, and sometimes you're chasing your money.
Hmm.
It just depends on, the day. And you have to be ready for whatever shift comes
Right.
because algorithm standards change. The people that work there change. The messages change. And
Hmm.
you have to go with it. You can't
Right.
say no, I'm not gonna. You have to go with it or go somewhere else.
Hmm.
So it's just about, staying strong, I guess.
Yeah, I get that. No, I totally get that. Um, how do you determine a brand that's worthy of working with? Like, do you have like any set criteria before you approach a brand when you consider a brand, or let's say a brand approaches you,
Mhm.
what goes through your train of thought determining, okay, let me work with this brand or not?
I'm going to the social media pages first, and I'm
Okay.
going to look at how much Black representation is there.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one. That's numero uno. I
Gotcha.
also look to see how many Black people are on in the background, because if they're not Black people in the background, then most of the time there's not going to be much leeway or understanding for me because I'm Black woman all day, every day. So
Yeah,
I
you are.
can't deal with anything other than that or any other experience other than that. So that's always first. Two, I'll try to scour around and see what I can find out about previous relationships that they've had with influencers and how those
Okay.
influencers are treated. I will stand absolutely in solidarity with influencers if a brand has been racist, abusive, or things like that. Don't pay, things like
Hmm.
that. But
Right.
those are my top things that I look at when I make the decision of whether or not I want to pitch a brand or if a brand pitches me. And
Okay.
I absolutely respond and say, you do not have enough Black representation, and you're more
Hmm.
than welcome to reach out to me in a couple of years. I give them years at
Hmm.
the least before we can have another conversation because my people weren't here before you reached out to me. And I'm not going to be the one to carry us over the river.
All right now. Okay. I can respect that. So when it comes to um, negotiation,
Mm.
how do you generally approach a negotiation with a brand?
It's as far as like talking money.
Yeah, I think but that's what the people at home want to hear about. Like, how do you approach that aspect? Because a lot of people want to make this their career, and the money has to be
Mhm.
there because we all have light bills to pay. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, how do you approach that aspect of the negotiation, like the pay portion?
I come with the numbers.
Okay.
I've had track, again, it goes back to what I was saying before about making the content look sponsored even when it hasn't been.
Hmm.
So you have those tracking links. Or you're with affiliate brands. You're doing affiliate networking. So you're already making affiliate money off of the brand. They already know that too. They're
That's
notified
true.
of it. They know who's the top in their affiliates. So you mix those two together and you can say, hey, I got a click through rate of 36%.
Right.
And I'll come to them with an idea or a concept. So it's not just, hey, I really like this brush, I want to review it. It's, I want to do a piece on the benefits of using silicone bristles,
Mm,
and I want to feature your product.
right.
And I'd like to give away some to about 5 people. That makes it more attractive. It
Right.
makes it beneficial. It makes it evergreen. When is an article about a silicone brush going to ever be out of style? Never.
Never.
I'm going to make it SEO friendly. It's going to
Mm-hmm.
sit at the top. It's going to be on the first page of Google. When you go to Google silicone brush or what silicone brush is right for me, it's going to pop up there. And they're going to be constantly making money. So it's a
Right.
win-win situation for both of us.
Yeah. And if they can see that you're already providing that value, then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, hell yeah, we'll pay you.
Yeah, it's a shoe in.
Yeah, okay.
They never say
Ugh.
no.
Listen, I don't care if none of y'all watch this video. I'm getting my life right now. I'm getting all the advice I need. Today's video is sponsored by me. Yes, me. If you didn't know by now, I have a platform called Buy Me a Coffee where I post exclusive content that you can only find over there. What type of content can you expect to find on Buy Me a Coffee? Let's take a look. I cover a lot of different aspects of life, such as financial independence, spirituality, political rants, and fitness. I film vlogs where I'm raw, honest, and vulnerable about the more personal aspects of my life in the hopes that my journey can inspire someone else on theirs. Now, if you're a fan of my investigative, opinion-based skincare reporting on YouTube, you'll love to see some behind-the-scenes tea, as well as receipts that I save for only my closest supporters. This content is semi-private, so I do ask that you don't share any of it publicly. I know that if people are willing to pay money to see this, that I can feel safe in expressing myself authentically and safely. Additionally, I offer a few unique services on my Buy Me a Coffee page, such as tarot card readings. Yes, no one saw that coming, but I am really into tarot cards. And I also do skincare consultations and advice packages. So if you're into supporting me as a creator and you can do so financially, Buy Me a Coffee is actually going to be the most efficient way to do so. I just want to thank everyone that has already supported me on Buy Me a Coffee. It is so special to me that you believe in my brand, believe in my reporting, and believe in me as a content creator. So thank you so much for those that are early adopters of my content. And I also want to thank those that are going to be future supporters. Again, if you're interested in supporting me, go to buymeacoffee.com/thatshow. Now let's get back to the video. Okay, so let's do a little shift.
Mhm.
Let's talk about other influencers in this
Okay.
space.
Okay.
My channel's all about kind of like, being a consumer advocate. So I sometimes call out brands. I sometimes
Mhm.
call out other influencers. Do
Mhm.
you generally have a lot of friends in the influencing space?
I'm pushing 40.
Okay.
So the
Mm,
term friend is a
right.
little,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I try to be the big sister,
Yeah.
mom,
Mm-hmm.
because that's who I am at my core. So that's kind of where, like, I will say things to people out of concern and it's taken the wrong way.
Yeah.
And I'm just at that point where, just day to day, I'm not interested in making friends, but I'll give you tips, I'll give you advice. If you
Right.
ask me for some advice for something, I don't have a problem doing it, but I don't rally and gang with the girls. I'm
Right.
too old for it, to be quite honest with you. It's an
Mm-hmm.
age thing. Because when I was younger in influencing 2010, 2010 to 14, I had friends. You know
Right.
what I mean? And then
Right.
if one is doing something a little more than the other, things start getting shifty.
Mm,
And then that what you thought was a friend starts to, well, what about me? And then you
right.
have to turn to her and say, well, what about you?
Right.
And now things have gotten nasty.
Right.
So I have learned to avoid that whole by just not I don't want anybody to get confused and think we're friends. I don't
Right.
have a problem with anybody, but no, no
I
friends.
get you. I know, I get you. And do you feel like the culture of influencer friendships at its core is strained because of the competition? Is that why you think
Yes.
that tends to happen? Okay.
They do not understand that there is enough money for everybody out here.
Right.
And you can't convince people that, hey, I'm not your competition. Like I made my foothold,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, you can make your foothold, but we're not in the same lane. We're not in the same car. We don't have the same tires. We don't have the same motor. We're
Right.
not the same. And whatever you're doing is great. Congratulations. If you do better than me, that's great. Congratulations.
Right. Right.
Um, but I'm not here to fight.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the girls like to fight though.
They do. They do. And every friendship has went sour.
Yeah.
They all eventually just go sour. And it's sad to see, but I know that everybody's young
Right.
and hungry
Mm-hmm.
and want to be famous
Right. Yeah.
and want to get a face on a product, or
Mm-hmm.
some ultimate goal, and it's obtainable,
Right.
but you can do it without cloning everybody on the way up.
It's true. That's true. Thank you for that. Okay, so I think we understand your stance on influencer friendships.
Mhm.
I've done a video on some influencer friendships that recently broke up, and that was very dramatic. Um,
Yeah.
what are your feelings on influencers that have been involved in huge scandals? Like,
Hmm.
do you feel like that, makes your job harder as an influencer because sometimes the broad brush is painted over every influencer as being untrustworthy? Like how do you deal with that aspect?
I don't.
Mm-hmm.
um, Everybody's individual, and they represent them. They don't
Right.
represent me. So when somebody else makes a grand mistake, it's unfortunately their mistake.
Yeah.
And if the time ever comes that I make a mistake, it's my mistake.
Mm-hmm.
It is not the influencer marketing as a whole responsibility to carry any individual influencer's mistake on our backs.
Gotcha. You know, I've thought about this too. I've been talking about Paula's Choice since I
Mhm,
got into the skincare world online. And a lot of people in my real life, after a
mhm,
while, they thought, oh my God, Cho is talking about Paula's Choice all the time. Like he's just shilling their products. Meanwhile, quiet as it's kept, I haven't got paid a cent by Paula's Choice.
mhm,
Um,
mhm,
but at first it hurt my feelings that like people
mhm,
thought that I would be inauthentic about expressing
mhm,
myself because I pride myself
mhm,
on being a very honest person,
mhm,
even a little bit too honest sometimes.
mhm.
Um, but then I kind of thought about it. Well, Cho, you don't really want people in your sphere that don't trust you. Like those people aren't good for you anyway. Like
Bingo.
I don't want those types of viewers. So if you don't trust me, I really want you as a consumer to go follow someone that you do trust.
There you go.
Because
You
I think that's
don't
important
have
for
time to prove yourself.
yeah, that's kind of my
It's
stance.
exhausting. It's exhausting.
Yeah,
And first of all, it is very hard not to love Paula's Choice. For the people who don't love Paula's Choice, look, I don't understand it, but
right.
good for you.
Right.
But in this house, we use Paula's Choice,
Absolutely.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner,
Absolutely.
sunscreen toner, whatever, whatever, whatever. We It's hard not to love Paula's Choice. So
Paula, my
yeah,
girl.
anybody who accuses you of shilling Paula's Choice, they don't deserve you.
Right.
Period.
Girl, I wish I was getting paid by Paula, but until then, I'm not a shill. Just so you put it on the record, you know?
And that's it. And that's all.
Okay. Well, that's great. So, those are kind of the main topics of I had
Hmm.
for you in terms of questions, but I did have a couple of viewer questions that I kind of want to run down. Let's see, how
Hmm.
much time do we have left? We got a little bit more time, so we'll go over a
Okay.
couple viewer questions. Um,
Okay.
Let's see. What are some of your non-beauty related interests or
Uh,
hobbies?
Fishing,
Oh, really?
gardening. I'm a fisher. Now, fun fact, I am allergic to anything that touches water. I can't eat fish, seafood, you name it. The only thing I can use is tuna, but I do catch fish.
Oh
I'm a
my
good
God.
fisher,
Okay.
fisher lady.
So this is going to be random, but you know I'm all about the drama these days. Did you know up in Northeast, like on Lake Erie in Ohio, there was this
Uh-huh.
huge fishing drama where these fishing champions were filling the walleye
We were over here
with
dying.
weights.
Me and my husband were dying.
Listen,
They
it doesn't matter
they
what
were
industry you're in, there's drama in every industry.
there's drama in every, and it was like a light bulb. Like I didn't know that I've never seen fishing drama.
Fishing drama, honey.
Filling the fish up with weights and big just
Fillets.
big chunks of fish.
I'm gonna put the link to that TikTok video in the description box of
Everybody
this
has to
video.
watch it. Those poor white men were appalled.
Listen, I thought they were gonna beat the man up, to be honest with you. Like,
He
watch the
should have
videos,
been beat
guys.
up.
I mean, because
He should
they
have been
they
beat
had
up.
won what, like $500,000 worth of prizes over the last consecutive years. I
Cheating
mean, it's not chump
the whole
change.
time.
And I believe that the entry fee for some of these fishing competitions are upwards to $400.
They
So
are.
people are really getting scammed out of the coin because this dude is literally putting fish fillets inside of walleyes and then catching them. I could not believe that.
It
Um,
was crazy.
Sorry, random tangent, but that's how we are here on this channel. Okay, another viewer question. Um, oh, this is a fun one. Do you ever help your partner, your significant other, do his skincare?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's
And
fun.
he fully credits me for giving him the glow of a lifetime.
Okay.
He has skincare products now
Look at
that
that.
he
Look at
uses
him.
like religiously.
I love that. I love that. Um,
It's great.
what products does he use to maintain like healthy beard growth? Do you have any recommendations for that offhand?
Vitamin E oil. He likes
Okay.
the Jamaican black castor oil,
Okay.
vitamin E oil, and coconut oil.
Okay.
He's into the oils and rosehip oil.
Okay.
Loves rosehip oil.
Okay. Oh, this is good. This is juicy. Okay, that's good. Okay. Because my viewers were like, Joe, ask her this. I'm like, I don't know if she does her husband's skincare. I don't know. But I'm glad. I figured you probably would. But okay, that's good. Okay, so next question. Let's see. Oh, this is one that I think is really important. How do you feel about what people are calling the age of misinformation in regards to like TikTok, social
Mhm.
media, and how easily misinformation gets pushed around? Not only for skincare, but like everything. I feel like it's a big issue.
The age of misinformation is a doozy because um, who has the time in their day to try to verify? So
Right.
I don't use TikTok as a source of information. I
Mm-hmm.
use like TikTok for a source of entertainment.
Okay.
I don't want to go there to cry. I don't
Right.
want to go there to learn much of anything
Right.
unless I know that I'm following somebody who's an actual expert in their niche. But
Right.
the first question I always have is when I hear somebody giving some information and it doesn't make sense, it's like, who are you?
Mm-hmm.
That's my first question. Who are you?
Right.
Then you go do your Googles and you're like, oh, you're nobody. So I'm gonna
Right.
disregard what you say for right now
Right.
because with so much and people are spreading it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's easy. It's easy. And you're right. It's difficult to parse through everything. And so
Hmm.
sometimes you have to just have a simple rule like you have where like, am
Hmm.
I gonna disregard you from rip? Like, and
Hmm.
not using those popular sources or those popular medias for sources of information. Like I would never go to TikTok to learn how to like you know, change my oil in a car. Like, I'm not doing that.
Look, let me tell you something. I do HVAC with my husband. That's the day
Right.
job, right? We
Yep.
own the AC heating and appliance repair company. And I watched a man on TikTok and he was showing consumers how to change a part on their air conditioner.
Mm-hmm.
And he left out this critical step that can
Oh no.
literally electrocute you.
Well, here we
And
go.
people were in the comments like, hey, you could really get someone hurt. You you could really get someone killed.
Right.
You could.
And is
Like,
he liable for that? That's the other thing. Who's liable for people hurting
um
themselves?
unfortunately, no one is liable.
Yeah.
So it's a at your own risk type of thing. And people, of course, we get calls where people have tried it themselves before
Right.
we get there,
Right.
and it makes our job harder. So
Mm-hmm.
if you don't know how to do it or you're not a professional in it, like, leave it alone, because you make it harder on us.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then when something goes wrong, you're mad at us, but nobody told you to do this and this and this and this.
Right.
So um I wish that people would stick to baking tutorials, sewing,
Right.
learning how to wash a cat or a dog, but um
Do the
doing
DIY
your own
knitting. Do
electricity.
the knitting. Like
Yeah, just knit. Just knit. Knitting is cool. Don't cut your hair. Don't learn how to
right.
cut, dye your
Uh-huh.
hair. Thank God for the woman on TikTok, the nail whisperer,
Mm-hmm.
because they were doing the thing with the gel nail where they were taking the gel and putting the nail on top and then flash curing it. And they were nothing but pure chemical exposure,
Mm.
and everybody was doing it. And we all watched the videos of the girls popping on these gel nails and beating them all over the table. Look,
Wow.
they stay here for weeks. They weren't even cured on the inside. They're going to have contact dermatitis in a year.
Wow.
So some things should be left to the professionals.
Yeah. So, I've covered, so this is going to be another little tangent here, but I've covered DIY skincare on my channel before.
Mm-hmm,
I've interviewed Natural Chaos, very
mm-hmm,
controversial figure,
mm-hmm,
very controversial. I remember she's the one that got into it with, I think, Tiara Willis, and called her
mm-hmm.
19-year-old gag. But anyway,
Oh, yeah.
that was
Is that the
hilarious.
one that was selling a product that was really popularized by like a celebrity?
I don't know if she did that, but she's the one that does the DIY skincare, and she had what I believe was a chemical burn from doing a
Mm.
peel, and then the girls dragged her, and then there was a lot of back and forth. But
Uh,
anyway, I assume that you're not a big proponent of DIY skincare, like DIY Botox, filler, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, gotcha.
I barely want the girls to dermaplane at home. So anything past dermaplane, I mean, you can't really traditionally dermaplane at home. So everybody's using like the Tinker Razor.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Um, I really don't like that. So God forbid the Botox. And
Mm-hmm.
I've seen people doing micro needling at home and some other interesting things. And
Oh yeah.
I pray for everybody's safety.
I know that. Well, thank you. We appreciate that, April. So listen. She's a generous woman, okay? She's praying for the DIY girls. Okay.
I'm a praying mother.
This is fun. Okay, let's do one more before my last few questions.
Okay.
Let's see. Oh, this could be a controversial one, but someone did ask this. Do you feel like you miss out on opportunities due to your identity?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. If there's one thing I've been constantly fussing about since like 2011, it's the lack of diversity and
Right.
influencing,
Mm-hmm.
and it doesn't seem to be improving much.
Yeah. I've heard some crazy stories on Twitter about pay differences between influencers for
Mhm.
having less followers, like metrics being very lopsided, yet white influencers receiving more money. I've heard some pretty crazy stuff.
I touched on it on TikTok,
Yeah.
but once upon a time, us bloggers had mode media. And mode media was a widget that you put on your WordPress website, and it
Okay.
ran ads, and they would do sponsored campaigns. So they really shaped what influencer marketing looks like.
Yeah.
They would send us an assignment with pay. They were really good at making sure that we had good fulfillment. So if you had a campaign with Target, Target would send you your gift card for that stipend amount. They always sent a stipend, and then they would send the pay. But Mo Media went out of business one day, all of a sudden. Like everybody was waiting on their paychecks on the I think we got paid on the first of every month.
Yeah.
And by the 24th, before it was time for pay, they were gone.
Mm,
And they didn't get paid. The
mm.
influencers did not get paid. And they were owed so much money.
Wow.
And a Facebook group erected in the whole midst of the drama because everybody was trying to figure out. They were in the middle of campaigns were due in days or weeks, you know what I mean, like
Right.
and they completely shut down. And so it was like, okay, everybody say your name, the name of your
Mm-hmm.
blog, and how much you're owed. Well, white women started entering the chat, and they had significantly less numbers,
Mm-hmm.
but they were owed hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the
Ooh.
black women were owed thousands of dollars, tens
Mm.
of thousands of dollars, not many tens of thousands either. A lot of black women were owed just a few mere thousand, but white
Mm.
women were owed hundreds of thousands. And to make matters
Interesting.
worse, the brands would try to accommodate, like after it happened, they had already paid Mode Media for the work, but they
Mm-hmm.
still tried to accommodate the influencer as well
Okay.
and still make sure that they got paid. But they didn't accommodate many black women or
Mm.
black influencers at all for that matter. So their pay has always been disproportional.
Mm-hmm.
And I just it's a lot, it's a lot to know. You
Right.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like with the Lexus photo that was revealed yesterday or the day before.
Mm-hmm.
Like nothing has changed. The
Mm-hmm.
entire press trip was all white.
Mm.
It was all white women.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow,
Yeah.
they didn't even try.
2022. Yeah.
2022,
Mm-hmm.
after everybody did all that performative campaigning during George Floyd
Oh yeah.
and
All the
everybody that
promises. Yeah.
the
Mm-hmm.
pull up and shut up, and we don't even talk about it anymore.
Mm-hmm.
We
Right.
don't know who's pulling up, but we know everybody shut up.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Mm-hmm. Well, that could be a whole nother video in and of itself. But thank you for touching upon that. I appreciate
I'll be
that.
back with Hennessy for that one.
Right. Okay, so to end the interview, I have a couple
Mhm,
questions that I ask everyone, regardless of the topic.
mhm, mhm,
This might be a really difficult one, but what are some of your favorite skincare products and or brands that
mhm.
you love right now in the skincare space?
I love Bolden Skincare. I
Okay.
love Exor Botanical Beauty. Delish Condish.
Hmm.
Um, Urban Hydration.
Okay.
Paula's Choice.
Hmm.
Those are my favorites.
Okay. Okay.
I have I've shifted my content, not majorly, but I feature more black brands now.
Okay.
I'm more intentional about reaching out to and working with small businesses where they are, even if that means they don't have a huge budget,
Right.
doing consultations with them on
Hmm.
how they can improve on the marketing side to be more attractive to both influencers and
Oh wow.
consumers.
Okay.
Um, I do copyright for them, and I do it at discounted rates to make sure that those brands make it, that they
Right.
have that upper edge, that they have the things that the big competing brands have.
Right. Because at the end of the day, you know, for any business owner, you need capital. You have to have
Yep.
capital if you want to compete. We live in a kind of a crony capitalistic society that's not really capitalism. It's a lot of
Hmm.
cronyism, and
Hmm.
you got to have capital. You got to have money. And so
Yep.
I appreciate that you are, doing the work by actually pouring back into small businesses. I think that's really, really admirable.
Thank you.
Um, okay, so final words. Is there anything
Mm.
else you want to say? Any words of wisdom? Anything that we talked about that you want to clarify? What last words do you
Mm,
have?
keep fighting the fight.
Yeah.
If you're out here doing content, keep doing it.
Hmm.
And kind of clear the way for yourself. Don't let everything that's going on in influencer marketing and all of the drama cloud your judgment or cloud your path. If you know that there's something that you want to do, follow that path,
Hmm.
and you'll be okay.
Okay. That's awesome. Thank you for that. And then lastly, where can we find you on social media? Any upcoming projects or releases you have planned that you want to talk about? This is your chance to kind of promo yourself and tell us where to find you and how we can support you.
I don't have anything going on at the moment.
Hmm.
Just kind of playing around with video content. It's
Hmm.
all very new to me. So
Yeah.
I'm playing around with video content on TikTok. I'm Hey April everywhere. So HeyAPRILL. And
Okay.
I'm that everywhere. I do not put content on my site anymore. Only on social media.
Hmm.
And I'll have a newsletter coming soon.
Oh, cool. That's exciting. Awesome. Well, April, once again, I have to tell you, thank you so much for spending this time with me. I think that you're an amazing creator. You're someone I look
Thank
up
you.
to. And I think that this conversation is really going to be valuable to not only consumers, but I think especially other people that are thinking about becoming influencers. You really dropped a
Yeah.
lot of piping hot tea, some controversial opinions that I think need to be heard and discussed. Um, so if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, definitely comment your opinions, and please go give April a follow on her social media. That would be very awesome to see. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
I'll see you guys later.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.